These are on now.
These are on. It's fine. You good?
Yeah.
All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. I'm here with a good friend, Hannah Alsobrooks. She is a junior public health major from Big Spring, Texas. Whoop. And she is here to talk about her experience in college with Jesus here at the chapel with us, also with Life Group and missions and all the cool stuff she's gotten to experience as a public health major. But before we go into any of that, I'm going to pray the episode in so we can get started. All right. Dear God, thank you so much for today, for tonight, for Hannah and just bringing her onto the show. Thanks so much that we can talk about you and lift your name on high. I pray that you would give us both a little bit endurance as the day is coming to a close. We're both a little bit tired, but I know that you can perk our spirits up, God, and that this conversation can just be full of excitement and with joy and just, looseness, that there's no anxious feelings, no anxiety in this place, God. I pray that everything we say would just be edifying to us in this room and to people outside of this room as well, God. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Yo, girl, how is it going?
Pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah. Yeah. How was the week?
Let's see. It was really good.
It was really good? Yeah.
Yeah.
Happies and crappies, highs and lows.
Let's see. Happies and crappies. Had 2 tests this week, but I think I did pretty good.
Yeah.
Ran 10.5 miles.
Yeah.
So
how was that? You
it was
mentioned earlier.
Interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, I think running is really a lot of mental.
Yeah.
But after the run, my body was like, no, that was definitely a lot of physical
stuff.
So I was strong mentally, but
afterwards,
my knees afterwards were just like, oof. Hannah, honey. You took a little bit of a jump there from 6 being the most to 10.5.
Girl, you made a 4-mile PR. Girl, just broke it. Well, because didn't you run cross country in high school?
Yeah, but that was 2-mile races, and the most we would run in practice was 4 miles, and I would still walk when the coach couldn't see me. So
she's honest now, folks.
So, yeah.
Believe it.
Yes.
But you enjoyed it though.
I did. Yeah. It was good. I ran with 2 other friends, and I was like, y'all, I don't think I'm gonna make the whole 10 miles. But they just kept going. We did a slow pace. Okay. So that was good.
What was the time for the whole 10? Did you time it?
My friend had it on her phone. My watch died after 8 miles, which I was really bummed about because I wanted that PR on my watch.
Nice. Yeah.
But
well, it still would have been a PR, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, just not the full one.
But that's 2.5 miles short.
Right.
So I think she said it was an hour and 54 minutes.
Bro, okay, what's that
It was around 10-minute splits.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was trying to do math, but I was like, English major, can't do it. Yeah. And the calculator's right here, and I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. It's fine.
But yeah.
Did you do any other sports in high school?
Yes, I did. Let's see. Okay, I did cross country, softball, volleyball, cheerleading, track. And I made the basketball team freshman year, but I quit so I could get better at softball, which I wasn't very good at anyways.
Yeah. Small school? Just doing everything? Or?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, pretty much if you put the effort in, you can make it.
Yeah.
And I was one of those, I was basically there for morale.
Try hard. Yeah. Okay.
So I was the cheerleader on the bench most of the time.
Yeah, that helps cheerleading though.
But yeah.
You're cheerleading in every sport.
Yes.
That's so good.
Yeah, positivity.
Did you have any specific, because there's always competition memories, where it's even if you're not freaking number one in the world, it's you have fun at competition. You ever any yeah, do you have any of those stories, weird stuff happening, state tournaments, district?
Wow, high school was a while ago. It feels
yeah, I feel
all my life is college now. I've only been in college for 20 years now. Let's see. I don't know.
What was the funniest thing that happened? Funny memories. Good memories, but funny memories.
Funnies. There's so many funny. Okay, so freshman year.
Yeah.
In softball, there's me and 3 other girls. We were all really good friends.
Nice.
And
so you're picking daisies.
No, they were good. And well, one of them was really good, and then 2 were good, and then
they said they were good, and then you were like, I'm just friends with you.
Yeah, no. And so on the bus ride, I don't know, everyone wanted to sit in the back.
Right.
And so seniors got to sit in the back, and then you just kind of works your way up. So freshmen in the front. We were freshmen. The coach was sitting in the front, and so we're laughing and having the best time.
Yeah.
and my coach gets mad at us.
What?
I know.
For having fun.
I know.
On a
like,
bus.
Come on, this is team building. But no, he was a great coach. But
Okay.
he was just kind of, I guess, grumpy that day.
Yeah.
Wanted us to focus before the game, and we weren't serious enough. And so we got told to be quiet. And so we started like making parodies of songs. We were like writing them down. So that Frank Ocean song. What's
Frank Ocean? You're listening to Frank Ocean your freshman year?
yeah?
He's like so old.
The one that came
He's good,
out,
but he's old.
The one about the tornado blew around my roof before, or my room.
I don't know Frank Ocean, girl.
Okay, well, we made a softball
Okay, what was
parody
the end of it? Can you sing it? No.
No, I don't remember. I just know that's the song we like made a parody to, and so we were always like singing it during practice, and it was like the weirdest insider, but whatever works, keep us quiet from having too much fun on the bus.
Oh, LOL. No, because I took, I didn't drive the bus, but like I took our guys and girls from tennis last year to like Houston and a couple tournaments. I think one of them, a couple to Madisonville and stuff like that. So like I'm on the bus with them, and like I know I like should be like supervising and stuff like that, and like I'm in the front because like that's I guess where you sit as an adult, and like I can hear them,
Yeah.
but like I had my Beats on, which was probably a mistake, so they thought they couldn't hear me, but So what I did is I turned the volume down a little bit so I could hear my music, but I could still hear them. And so anytime they would like say something, I would like straight up turn around, just give them a little bit of a look, and they would like, they would pipe it. Ooh. No, and I was just like, yeah, I'm good. I know.
That's funny.
Tools of the trade.
For sure. No, that reminds me of one other time on the bus with softball. We put on Beats and turned it up as far as we could go.
Oh.
And then you had to sing the song you're listening to.
Oh, but you can't hear yourself at all.
Yeah, and so
Nice.
everyone else can hear you. And so for some reason, I was the first person to go. Like, why not?
There was a reason.
Get the quiet girl
For
to go
some
first.
reason, yeah.
Like, okay, cool.
It's called hazing. No, I'm just kidding.
It was
Don't haze people, I'm sorry. We're not laughing at
bullying's
bullying.
not nice.
It is not nice at all. We are an edifying, church, Jesus-loving institution.
Yes, but
Yeah.
there is something in getting quiet people to come out of their shell.
For sure, yes.
And so I definitely
Broadening
needed
your
that in
horizons.
high school. But yeah, so I did Super Bass by Nicki Minaj.
Oh.
I had the whole rapping part, and
Nice.
then like the chorus she's singing.
Oh, yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
it was so bad they were not laughing. I was like,
Did they record it?
I think I
Maybe.
don't remember.
See, those are the moments where you're like, I kind of want this recorded, but then I want it immediately deleted
Like
afterwards.
I want to be the only person with access to it.
Right. So you like have control over your shame. That's weird.
Yeah.
You can like psychoanalyze
Control your
that. Just like all of like this moment is now only mine in a box.
Yeah.
But then like now there's Snapchat, so it's just like, look at what I did, everybody. It's like, oh,
Listen to me sing.
listen to me. I'm so cool. Yeah, no, it's totally fun. I know a couple of there were some not good stories from my high school tennis experience, but like a couple of funny ones. There was one time I was playing just straight up guys doubles, and so they're like in the warm up, you're like just trying to like feed off of each other, like get loose and everything like that. But like as a 14, 15-year-old guy, you're like, I'm gonna win the warm up, so I'm gonna like hit like super hard and like just like send a message in a way, because like a lot of the guys, like at least I played, like I kind of knew I wasn't gonna beat him, but I was like, I'm gonna show them like I can play a little bit. And so I got a reputation for like being able to peg people with the ball really, really well, and just like have a slap shot. And there was one warm up where I pegged every single person, like I pegged both people on the court. So like you go up, so you have your volleys, and then you have like the baseline rally, right? But then you also like you practice your overheads, and they just like feed them to you, and usually like they could get them back, or you fence them either way. But so I don't know what it was with me, but I was just like lined it, hit this guy straight in the chest.
Ow.
And he was like, oof. And I was like, sorry, because you can brush it off usually. Like usually it's an accident. It happens, you're used to it. But then like the next ball, I was just like, let's see if I can do it again. And I slap it at the other guy's chest, and it worked. And I was like strangely proud of it. And this was in the warm-up, mind you. We lost the match, but I was like, I definitely won the warm-up. Like I sent the message I wanted to send. Right. I'm a changed man now. I found Jesus. But like in that moment, another moment before I found Jesus, also pegging people, was like, we had also guys doubles. I wonder if that's a trend where it's like you have one up, one back in a way. So there's one person like at the net, one person at the service line. And so I'm serving, and my partner can see the lines a lot better than me. But the people across from us, they keep calling the ball out. And I'm like, okay, I know my serve. I know that ball's not out. Like, bro, are they hooking me? Or, like, are they cheating me? Are they, like, calling the ball out? And I'm like, he was like, yeah, they're calling the ball out. I'm like, okay, let's see what I can do. So, of course, they've got another guy who's closer to the net than the guy I'm actually supposed to be serving to. But the thing is, in tennis, if you hit anybody, like, on the opposing side, like, before the ball touches the ground, it's your point. So if you get a peg, it's your point. Like, that's just, like, I know. It might encourage violence, but it's not a contact sport except for that one respect. Because it's just, like, it happens. So they had to, I don't know how they originally decided that's how it works, but, like, that's how it works. And so I didn't even try to get the ball in the court. I just, like, looked at the guy at the net. I'm like, I bet you I can do this. He's not even looking. And I just slap it at him again in the chest. I think it might have been more, like, in the leg and stuff like that. Like, he wasn't ready for it. Played it off like I didn't mean to do it, but I totally did. And I was, like, again, proud of it. Because I'm like, I'm so... like, I could hit him on a dime, but I couldn't get the ball in the court. I'm like, yeah, my serve's that bad. But...
Makes sense.
Makes sense, you guys. But, bro, good times. High school definitely peaked.
Oh gosh, no.
No, girl, because you were like homecoming queen in high school, weren't you?
Yeah, homecoming queen.
Small town vibes.
Oh,
Am
yeah.
I right?
It was just because I was a nice girl.
Yeah.
So.
Super nice to everybody. Good sport.
I think so.
Good team player.
For the most part, yeah.
There's like a lot of hesitation in the voice. Just like
I wasn't like great, but I think I was pretty nice to.
That was pretty good. So. Just paid them off a little bit. No.
Yeah, like vote me, please.
Please.
No.
And they were like, why not? She's pretty cool. She's pretty cool.
Yeah. I handed out cupcakes to everybody.
No, LOL.
Not really.
Pull out what was it? In like Mean Girls and stuff like that? Where they had like the flyers. Oh, wait, was it? No. In Napoleon Dynamite. Have you seen that?
No.
You haven't?
No.
Okay, so like it doesn't spoil anything, but you know like the Vote for Pedro shirts?
Yes.
Okay, so like not the whole plot of the movie, but like the end of the movie, it's like Napoleon and his friend Pedro, they're like running for class president, and so they make all the shirts like Vote for Pedro. And so Napoleon's like a kind of like an artist, so he like does these like doodle flyers and like mass produces them and like puts them on the lockers. And there's this other girl like Summer, and it's like Vote for Summer. It's always hot in summer, like that. And she's kind of like the mean girl of the show, you know, in that way.
Yeah.
And so she like slaps all her like pretty pink, you know, picture poster things on top of it. And it's just like, oh my gosh. And so what Napoleon and Pedro do is they like. Pedro is supposedly just like, it's kind of racist. He has all these connections, but it's like pretty much because he's Mexican, he has these connections. So they find this like piñata that just happens to look like Summer, the girl they're playing, and they hang it from like the school courtyard, and they start like beating the heck out of it with a stick, and they like, it cuts from that scene to the scene of like just Pedro and Napoleon in the office, and it's like, do you know why you're here? And he's like, I think I do.
You might have an idea.
Just like, yeah. We do not hit effigies of other students on this campus to save space. It's just like, the whole movie's like, so you haven't seen it though?
No, there's so many movies.
What other movies haven't you seen?
Oh my gosh, okay, so like all the Star Wars.
Okay, that makes sense though. Yeah. Because it's like, unless like your dad or like your brother or like someone usually like indoctrinates you into Star Wars.
Like at a young age.
At a young age, or like, I don't know, like usually like boyfriends will try to get their girlfriends into it at some point, like if they're like really into it, you know? But even then it's one of those things. What?
It happened.
It happened?
Yeah,
what?
I had to watch the first one, and then like it was...
What was the first one?
It was the first one that came out, so I guess number 4.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because there's the first, so there's episode 1.
Yeah, well, episode 4 I've seen, and then like the 2 most recent ones, because...
Okay, what do you think of those, the most recent ones?
I thought they were better than the first, but I got told that was wrong.
Okay.
Because the storyline's so much better at the beginning.
Right. No,
but like it looks way better now.
Yeah, so like the cinematography, like clearly it's gotten better.
Obviously.
Yeah, because like the 70s and the 80s stuff, you know, it's like that was like the best technology of the time, you know? So like you look at like any other movie from like 1985 compared to like Star Wars, it was like, oh my gosh, it's the cream of the crop. But now we look at it with like James Cameron and J.J. Abrams, it's like, yeah, no, that was kind of not garbage, but like just it's gotten so much better now.
It's crazy how much better CGI has gotten.
Yeah, no, because they freaking they made like the fake Leia. Did you see that one? I don't know which one that would have been.
It's like the newest one.
Not the newest one. It was like one of the other spin-offs they did. I think it was Rogue One. It might have been. And they like CGI'd young Leia into it. That was a big thing.
I thought they CGI'd...
They CGI'd the old guy Tarkin, the general dude.
The lady, like Leia, like, because she passed recently.
So, like, okay. So she did pass away, but, like, she had, like, the most recent episode, so, like, 7 and 8. Mm-hmm. She was able to, like, actually complete all her roles before she passed away. Like, they were done filming her for that role because she was playing her older self, right? Uh-huh. But then they made a spin-off movie, which was supposed to be between episode 3 and 4. 4 being one that you saw, where she was super young, but, like, even when she was alive, she didn't look like she did when she was, like, 25 or 30. So they CGI'd a 25-year-old version of her into the, like, 2016, 2017 movie, and it scared the heck out of a bunch of people because it was, like, so real.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because you kind of got, like, a back version. Like, I thought it was just gonna be, like, there's, like, the silhouette of her on the back, and it's, like, the signature, like, curly, hair and stuff like that. It's like, okay, you know how that's supposed to be. But then it turns around, and it's, like, actually CGI Leia, and you're like, oh my gosh, what'd you do, Disney?
Whoa.
No, yeah, they just start... Disney's been, I don't know, balling super hard. I don't know what they're doing.
Gotta make the money.
They do gotta make the money. They got all them animators from Texas A&M. Freaking whoop. Fun fact, everybody. In Monsters University, the university building is modeled after the academic building at Texas A&M. I know. I only know that because, like, every time I pass a tour in front of the academic building, that's what they're talking about. Yeah, and Sully, Blue, Harry Sully, he is named after Sullivan Ross.
Really?
Our statue. Yeah, put a penny on Sully. That's Sully.
I didn't know they actually, like, named him after that. I thought it was just, like,
it might be, like, I mean,
coincidence.
so that's what the tour guides say. And so, like, I take that for what it's worth, But I feel like they're not giving the tour guides false information,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
Maybe whoever wrote it was, like, from A&M, so they're like...
I mean, I hope they were.
Yeah.
Your tour guide script is from somebody in, like, Austin. They're like, well,
Plot
A&M's
twist.
garbage. Plot twist is like, A&M's garbage. Their mascot's a dog.
But we're gonna name the main character second, like, the co-main character.
Co-main character. Co-character.
Yeah.
Mike Wazowski. He's not the... Is he the main character?
I don't know if it's, like, Mike or Sully or...
Boo.
Boo, yeah.
I think it's... I don't know. I'd actually have to go back and watch it. Because it's, like... It's usually, like, who develops the most, Mm-hmm. And I feel like Sully definitely had to, like, go on, like, the adventure.
Yeah.
And then Mike is kind of like that wingman who's a bit, like, nutty, Who's always, like, egging the main character on.
Yeah.
And then Boo's just, like, freaking adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
constant.
She's the side girl. No offense, Boo.
Oh.
Oof.
Boo's the best.
She is the best. But, man. Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
But
Funny trail.
on a slightly more serious note, although Disney is pretty serious, you are a public health major, and I would love to know, although you've probably already told me, but nobody who's listening to this has heard it, probably. Maybe. What led you into public health? How has God been working in you through public health? What's the goal? What's the dream? What's Hannah Alsobrooks shooting for in life?
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I knew I wanted to be pre-med.
Yeah.
Coming in at A&M. So senior year of high school, I'm on Apply Texas. And they ask, what major do you want to be? I'm like, pre-med. And that's not an option. So I picked the first thing that said health, which was public health. Which I am so glad that I did, because that must have been, like, something that God did. Because there's, like, so many other health. Like community health, allied health, and all that.
Health and kinesiology.
Yeah.
Where I started.
There's so much. But, yeah, so I'm public health. And I think it's great. I want to be pre-med, like I said, hopefully go to medical school and do either pediatrics or general physician. But I want to go to, like, emergency response things. So, like, for example, like the Haiti earthquake, I want to be, like,
so not so not just, like, EMT stuff, like disaster relief stuff.
Yeah, disaster relief, or, like, natural disaster, or
like
humanitarian
like what we were doing with Harvey
crisis.
and all that stuff.
Yes.
Did you come with us? Yeah, you did come with us.
No.
Wait.
Well, I came last year. I didn't come this year.
Right. It was a lot of fun this year. You should have come. I think we're trying to set something up in the spring break, maybe.
That'd be cool.
We keep talking about it.
Maybe. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I want to do. I don't know. I've always just felt really called to that.
Yeah.
Not always. Like within the past 10 or so years.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to travel and help people, and that like developed into like realizing, because I used to get like a whole bunch of goosebumps like all over the place when I would hear like people talking about like humanitarian crises and like doctors and stuff, and now like actually learning about the like biology and like chemistry inside the body, I get super pumped up and I'm like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, yeah, this is where God wants me to be.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's such like such a peaceful like, hey, this is where God wants me to be.
It's just like goosebumps.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, Hannah, the goosebumps are.
Ooh, that's a sign.
Yeah.
Lord's giving you a sign.
Yeah.
God bless him. No, because like I know at least for me, it's like this whole journey of I don't know what I want to do. Like, and I don't know, even when I thought I knew what I wanted to do or what I wanted my major to be to try to get where I wanted to be, you know, coaching or teaching, whatever I thought it was going to be, it was like, am I doing this right? Or am I like doing good enough and stuff like that? And it was just like trying to find like the quote unquote like right calling and the right vocation. And it's like, I don't know, I kind of find like vocations also like relationships or people, because people talk about like, oh, there's like the one for you, or like there's the one significant other for you, but it's like God can be glorified legit in whatever you do, like in whatever relationship you're in whatever vocation you're in, and you just gotta like pursue him faithfully. And that doesn't have to be like a super stressful thing. It could be like a pretty peaceful thing, like you're explaining, bro.
Yeah,
it's just like,
for sure. Like I think we put way too much pressure on ourselves.
Yeah.
I don't know, I definitely put a lot of pressure on myself.
To be like super Dr. Hannah, or like,
yeah, just to like get right now, like to get into medical school, yeah, there's like a ton of pressure.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at all these people and they're like, oh, I shadowed this doctor, I volunteered at this hospital, and I actually have a job here, and I know this like general surgeon. And you're like, okay, cool.
All the connections.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're so cool. Like, I bet you have so many stories. And I have.
Please tell them.
Yeah.
Make me feel even worse about myself. How much
and
I'm not
like,
doing.
Yeah, they're just taking all these classes. They've done all these things. And I'm just like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm on track to get into medical school, but
yeah,
I don't know if I'm like extraordinary, like standing out. But like I was saying, put a lot of pressure on myself for that. And so like, I don't know, last semester, organic chemistry.
Yeah.
That was rough.
Talk about that.
Let's see. Yeah, put a lot of pressure on myself. Did well in the first exam. Second exam, I made the lowest grade of my life. I was like, I'm going to have to Q drop.
Oh.
But I can't because of scholarships.
Right.
So then they would like get taken away. And so I had to stick it out. And I was like, well, God, this is all in your hands now.
Yeah.
He was my study buddy for the whole semester. And he ended up pulling out an A. Good job, God.
Good job, Jesus.
Way to go.
You did it.
No, yeah, for sure. But like, one of my friends was telling me one time, she's like, I have no idea or like she knows like what she wants to do, kind of. Like she has an idea, you know?
Yeah.
She's a public health major too. And so she knows she wants to do like something with hospitals. And she's like super like Christian and into like evangelizing and just like loving on literally everybody. And she's just like, I don't know exactly like what I want to do. And she's like been praying about it, and she's like putting a lot of what it sounds like to me like pressure on herself to like do.
There's like a deadline or like a time frame to figure it out or something like that.
Well, that, and then also like she wants to do what God wants her to do.
Right.
You know? And it's like God's gonna have you like wherever you end up, that's like where God wants you, you know? He's gonna use you whether you end up like the trash man or like Superman, you know? So
well, it's like one of those things where it's like where God wants you, he has you types of thing. And you know, like that's like goes again with like a lot of things, whether it's like school or like family or relationships. And it's like, what does God want for this right now? It's like a lot of times, like unless it's sin, like this is the season you're in right now. And it's like you've got to learn how to glorify God in whatever season you're going through. And if that's like figuring stuff out, it's figuring stuff out. And it's like continuing to be faithful and like pray, go through scripture, find some community, find some discipleship, all that cool stuff. But it's like, and if it's like, hey, you're gonna be a doctor, go do it, it's like, then go do it, you know?
I'm working on it.
I'm working on it. No, but it's
for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What he can do.
It is pretty cool.
I honestly think that A was a miracle.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No,
For
I've had A's be miracles before. Actually, I'm pretty sure like all of my A's are miracles, or at least some of them like specifically have been like teachers like good graces, you know? Because like I'll do the thing where it's like I sit in the front of the class, like I take notes, like try to come in and like talk to them during office hours, like be polite, and like never have like asked for like an A, like never did like that number.
Yeah.
But it's like there's been points where like I'm at like that 88, 87, you know? And it's like I need like a 95 on this test to get an A. And I'm like going into the test, I'm like, there's no way I'm making a 95 on this. But coming out of it, I'm like, there's still no way I made a 95 on this. But then I look at the grade book and it's like, I made an 85 on this? Like, and it's like, thank you, God. Thank you, teacher. Like, just like.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, no, because like professors are always like super hard, like on the syllabus at least. They're like, I don't curve, don't ask me to curve, don't do anything. But like most professors, at least that I've had, like, I mean, I'm kind of privileged in like the liberal arts where everyone's a little bit more loosey-goosey and like free. Like people in liberal arts tend to like not be super competitive like the way like engineering or like medical stuff is. It's just kind of like, let's talk about things. And so the grades tend to be a little bit higher on average. It's not because like the class is like quote unquote easier, like, or the stuff's like, you know, easier to understand, because it's like we're talking through like, you know, pretty difficult stuff and like literature and everything like that. But yeah, like people just don't, it's a different mindset, I feel like, and you know, in a good way. But I think it definitely also carries over. Did I talk to you about my women writers class last semester? A little bit. I might have ranted about it a couple times. Yeah. No, it wasn't because it was like a bad class, but it was like, you know, you have like the group me's and stuff like that. And we had like the 100-something person group me because it was a big section. And before the like exams, they would send out a poll. It's like, how are we feeling about this test? And it's like pretty good, really good, or like not so good. So it's like, okay, like that's pretty harmless, like just trying to like gauge morale and stuff. But like after the test, like after they got grades back, they posted like another poll, be like, what did you get on the test? And I was like, why do we need to do this? Like, why do we need to know this? Like, no, we don't. Like, that's
not your business.
It's none of their business. Of course, I still answer the polls because I give in to peer pressure on the daily. So, and I kind of wanted to know, but I was like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, this isn't helpful. Like, cause like that can either give you like pride or just like embarrassment, you know? Because it's like you're either like, oh my gosh, I'm like one of the 6 people who got an A, or like, man, I'm one of like the 50 people who got a C or a D, or like didn't do so hot. So it's like, what's that gonna do? What's that gonna do, girl?
Nothing.
All that competition, we don't need it in our lives. We got Jesus.
True.
Yeah, but I've also heard you talk, I mean, maybe not specifically about like organic chemistry, but we've talked about like just chemistry, biology, the body, how complex it is. We watched that laminin video last week with Louis Giggs. No, which is so cool, but you've also just been talking about how like complex everything is, how well it works together, and just kind of like, man, like how amazing is it that God like designed us the way we are.
Yeah.
Want to talk about that for a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I actually like went on a mini rant the other day.
Go for it.
And
do it again. Mega rant. Not a mini. No minis here.
Mini.
Mini?
It's just like a lot of, like you were kind of telling me before we started, kind of like, you know, everyone sees like math and science as like one end of the spectrum, and then there's like God at like the polar opposite.
Yeah.
And it's like, how on earth could all of this like perfectly meet up and they're like not be a God, you know?
Yeah.
Like the God. Like how on earth can all of your cells just like know how to replicate themselves at the perfect time, at like everything, and like there not be a God? And like I'm saying like a lot. I'm really sorry.
It's okay. It's totally okay.
Yes. And so it's just crazy. As I'm taking biochemistry, it's just there's so many little things in your cells, and like, you know, you see the pictures and like the diagrams of the
nucleotides.
Yeah, the nucleotides. And like they're made up of the nucleotides. And like the bases.
The nitrogenous bases.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. The phosphate head? Is that right?
The phosphate backbone.
Thank you, freshman biology.
The sugar
Still got
phosphate
it.
backbone. And it's just like, okay, cool. That's a bunch of carbons and nitrogens. But then like my professor is explaining like why each atom is in the specific position and like how like DNA versus RNA. Like there's a huge difference in like what they do, and there's only like a couple things that are switched up about them. Like you know, one's got like an OH on it and one's just got the H, and there's just like different things, and it's like that is insane how like your body knows like the difference between that. And I just think it's crazy. Like there's no like science doesn't disprove God. Like science definitely like proves.
I mean, because it's always just like looking at evidence, looking at stuff that we can observe. Because I think my political science professor, he's an awesome guy, but he was kind of going into like, okay, here's empirical stuff, here's fact, here's what we can see, and then here's what we like believe. And so kind of like that, not immediate, but just like soft distinguishment between like, here's fact and belief, here's science, and then here's your thoughts and your feelings, which is like, okay, there's like, okay, reason for that. But then it's also like, man, we can look at stuff, but how do we know that what we see is like what we get in a way? And that's not to be like super meta, but it's like, how do we know that like what we see is all that's there, you know? And that there's something, you know, that there's not something that's also true beyond what we can see. And so I made like a discussion post about that, and I got a couple of rants in the responses, but I was like, I don't care. I think I asked something along the lines of like what constitutes like fact and belief, and of course there's probably like a couple philosophy majors in a section of like 200 or 300, so I just got these like textbook responses, and I was like, that's pretty good.
What were they like saying? Were they like agreeing or?
It was variations of the same thing where it was just like, you know, they were mainly just given definitions. Like people wanted like regurgitate definitions of like, here's a fact. It's observable, it's knowable, it's testable, it's repeatable, and here's your belief. It's an opinion. It's not shared by everyone, and this, that, and I was kind of like, okay, yeah. But it's crazy, like you said, that everything kind of fits together. I think about it like we're like the coolest Lego set ever, you know, because like we're all
complex.
Like exactly, like we're all like we're carbon based, right? That's right. Okay. And it's like from atoms, from like even just like protons and like neutrons and like the subatomic stuff that I can't name, it's like those are all inherently uniform, those like, you know, particles. But then it's like there's so much diversity that kind of just literally explodes as soon as they get put together, and there's literally infinite ways that they can get put together and like form, you know, whatever 6 billion strands of DNA there are inside of us that determine like our face, our hair, our eyes, and I'm like,
keep your foot from growing out of your face. It's crazy,
bro. That'd be fun.
You'd be like rolling, anyways,
or like a face on your foot. That's one of those weird like icebreaker questions where it's like, would you rather have a face on your foot or a foot on your face? Nah.
Starting next week.
Did I mention that we were tired, everybody? No, it's fine. It's good stuff. But also just like, I was reading about, do you know apoptosis? What that is? Biology, stuff like that. So this is like it's like one of the only things I remember from biology, apart from apparently like nucleotides and phosphate heads. But like, there's a process called apoptosis during cell replication, or not during cell replication, but like it can happen because, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like the RNA has to like, you know, find the other half of the ladder in the DNA. And there's like a bunch of different checklists that it goes through to make sure that like before it replicates that it's got the right set of DNA, to make sure that it's not going to make a mistake when it, you know, splits off and makes another one, right? Okay. Something along those lines. And so like there's all these different proteins, and it's like kind of going through the checklist down the ladder, and it does it in like a billionth of a second, you know?
Yeah.
But if one of those proteins is wrong and it gets caught, then it triggers apoptosis, which is pretty much a programmed cell death. In layman's terms, that means if your cell, as it's replicating, finds a problem with itself, it kills itself. And so I thought about that in kind of like a weird meta level where it's like, man, is it any wonder that we're programmed to see imperfections within ourselves? Like, not only like at the reproductive level where it's like you're trying to pass on your genes and stuff, but it's like when you look inside the mirror, like, what do you see? And then anything you see that doesn't live up to your standard of what you think you should be, you immediately try to like put it to death or like kill it or get rid of it. So that's like, I mean, that's like brushing your teeth or combing your hair, or that becomes like anxiety and like emotions. And so I was like, that's like legit hardwired inside of our DNA to be like self-critical. That blew my mind.
Whoa, yeah, you're blowing my mind right now.
No, yeah. Well, I kind of like, it might be a weird jump, but it was just like something I was thinking about as I remember it was my senior biology teacher because I took AP Bio senior year. Yeah. She was talking about it, and I was like kind of putting pieces together, and I was like, wait a minute. So I asked her about it. She's like, yeah, it's just like, and it happens literally on a daily basis because you got like billions of cells, right? Or like millions, like billions always of cells, right? And so that probably happens like, say, 1 in a million. Right? But you've got billions of cells that are replicating hourly or daily or weekly. So there's parts of yourself, we're decaying, like entropy and stuff like that, but it's literally your cells, as they get worse and worse at replicating themselves, start to kill themselves more and more and more. So it's like, it's kind of sad when you think about it, because it's like, oh no, but like it's not like the cells like actually you and like you're consciously doing it, but it's like just the program, it's the hardware inside of you. We're like just taught to think biologically about ourselves and like almost it's a preservation thing, like a self-preservation thing, but it's also like, bro, if you're not perfect, then you ain't sticking around. And I'm like,
I mean, it's survival of the fittest.
Yeah. And it's like, what implications does that have like on the macro level when we step out to like how we think about like the world or communities? You got your groups, it's like the weakest link, like Darwinism, social Darwinism. It gets real trippy, girl.
Whoa, I've never been down that rabbit hole.
Oh, but rabbit holes are fun though.
They are.
I like it.
It's an interesting one to think about.
Yeah. Is there anything else that anything else that you were thinking about? Because I don't know, you definitely have more knowledge about chemistry, biology than I do. Is there anything like even just recently that you were thinking about that just blow your mind in a physical sense how something works and gets put together? Yeah.
Let's see. Not that I can think of like right off the top of my head.
Right.
Yet. Stay tuned until
Stay tuned.
Closer to the end of the semester after I've gotten through
like once we understand it and stuff like that. It's like it always takes. Do you have this thing where it's like after you take the test, you understand everything that was on the test?
Kind of.
Or like, yeah.
Sorry.
No, go for it.
So like today, I'm like studying for my biochem exam that I had, and I've taken Gen Chem 1 and 2, and I'm pretty sure the same equation was I know it was definitely in Gen Chem 2, and I think it was probably in Gen Chem 1. It's like delta G equals delta H minus T delta S. And it's like, okay, cool. Got it. It's just like free energy. And like today, I'm like eating lunch, and I'm having like an extreme caffeine rush.
Right.
And eating, and it's like 30 minutes before, so I'm super buzzed up, and I'm like trying to like do things. And then, like, it just, like, dawned on me, like, that, like, the sense behind that equation. Because, like, we have to memorize the equation so you don't get, like, a formula chart. And so I'm, like, looking at it, and it's just, like, this makes sense. It's not just, like, letters and then Greek and then sign and then letter. And it's, like, that's happened.
That definitely happens.
Things just, like, blow your mind. And then you get, like, so excited about it. You're like, wow, I'm smart.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Exactly. No, that would be, like... I've had those moments, but I've also like really frequently had those moments where like you take the test and you're like kind of learning as you take the test. You're like trying to remind yourself of like what you were studying. You're like, oh gosh, what was this? Yeah. And then after you get the test back, it's like if you took the test when you got the test back, like you would have made 100, because you can immediately see where you made every single mistake as you were taking the test. But it's like just those like 4 or 5 days after. So I'm like, frick. And I'm like, I know. Or like, I'm like a good, bad, like, I don't know whether I'm a good or a bad test taker. Because like standardized tests, like crush it. Like shameless plug, just crush standardized tests. But like in class, not so much. Not good at school. I don't know.
So standardized tests like the ACT.
ACT, SAT, like PSAT, like STAR, TAX. Like I always. STAR and TAX. Got them.
Oh, wow.
Remember the tax test.
R.I.P.
RIP. No, it was so funny. My 7th grade class, I think, it was 7th grade. We got to be one of the testers for the test for STAR before it came out. And so it was going to be a 7th grade tax test that they were giving to the next class. So like when I was in 7th grade, like the 6th graders at the time would have been the first ones to actually take the test.
Yeah.
But they gave it to us to see, okay, like, can these kids like do well? Like, how are these kids going to do on it? We bombed it so hard. No, and it wasn't just like us. It was like the whole state. I remember like they got the scores back and it was just like 40-something%. And I was like, ooh, no. And they must have like adjusted the curriculum, adjusted something, because like, I mean, you remember the STAR test. It's not like super stressful. Like you got to remember stuff, but it's not.
Yeah, I don't remember stressing over STAR taxing.
Right, because it's like you could try to get commended, you could try to like get that like perfect, but yeah, exactly. It's like you can pass this test. Pretty straightforward. Just like circle an answer, get it. But yeah, but like that stuff, I was always like, this is good, and it was like it was never for a grade too, so it was just like, okay, fill it in. But like, especially like math and like science, like physics and calculus, like destroyed me. Had a little bit of senioritis, but like every time I took like a physics test, I was like, I forget absolutely everything that's been going on in this class the past 4 weeks, and I've done the homework. Didn't necessarily turn it in, but like that was on me. And then it was just like weird. I don't know. It wasn't anxiety. It was just mine's blank.
Yeah, no, that happens.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm trying to like talk or write an essay. I cannot write an essay for the life
like timed
of me.
writings and stuff in class.
That and like
just like taking it home too.
Yeah, because I apply for a lot of scholarships and just like trying to write an essay for a scholarship. I cannot sound like a literate person who speaks English fluently and knows what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So
what's the struggle? Is it like grammar? You had me read one of yours like a week ago, right?
Yeah, that was just like a little thank you letter.
A little thing, yeah.
But like, it's not like the grammar. It's just I cannot. I blank. I'm like, there's nothing cool about me to write about. I literally can't write.
Okay,
you're right. I don't actually need the scholarship. You can give it to someone else. It's really bad. And then I can't think of the words.
Yeah. So is it like you can't come up with like content to write about, or it's like you know what you want to write about, but you can't find the words to say it? Both. Yeah. Oof.
Like, yeah. I don't know what to say. And then like, I can kind of get an idea of what I want to say, but then trying to write it out, because then I'll like write something. I'm like, no, I need to write something that like leads into that, and then it just like bounces around and it doesn't sound smooth, you know? Like it doesn't flow.
It's not like concise or anything. Yeah. It's kind of like
And so then I'm super aware of that, and then I just can't write.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I would do like. It's weird because like they talk about like finding your voice and stuff like that. Did you take like a 210 or like a 104, or did you test out for English?
I took the dual credit one.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you tested out college stuff. So it's like, but you learned like, hey, find the voice, or like find the author's voice when you're reading it and stuff like that. Knowing like Hemingway sounds different than Shakespeare and different from Faulkner and stuff like that. Kind of. Sure. Okay. We'll start there. So it's like. Hemingway, I took a novel class last semester, so I could like rant about this for a while, but like Hemingway,
go for it.
He's notoriously brief and concise, and so he'll have all these like page-long dialogues, but it's like real easy to read like quickly in terms of like it'll be like two lines, as opposed to like Faulkner, who will have a page of dialogue, but it'll be one character monologuing for an entire page, and so it's like, do I want to follow one character's train of thought for this page, or do I want to follow like two characters bouncing ideas off of each other in like half a sentence for like a page type of thing? And so it was like Hemingway was interesting because it's like you had to like kind of know context, you know? There was sometimes too little information, but then with Faulkner, it was like there's always too much information, and you got to learn how to freaking underline and highlight, like, what's this boy actually trying to say? Because he'll like repeat himself and do all these like poetic things and like just really just showing off and flexing pretty much on the page. Like all there's probably like a billion water metaphors in like Faulkner that I hope nobody ever has to read, but it's like, I get it. I don't know how he like stared at water for like so long and just knows how like things ripple differently, whether it's like a pebble or like a leaf. No, this is stuff that's now seared into my brain because of Faulkner. Whereas like Hemingway is just like, hey, sup. It's literally like reading Hemingway is like reading texting. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Hemingway's like texting like, "Hey, you up? Yeah, we're cool. Like that. That's reading Hemingway. And so it's like you got into the context. Because if I read like your text messages, like I wouldn't, but it's like you'd be thinking like, how does this fit together? You know, there's something else that's like holding it together, and you got to figure that out. Whereas like Faulkner is like, I don't know, maybe like, you ever get like one of those texts where, or no, just like, I'm trying to think of the right words, where someone just like over explains something, you know, or like somebody's trying to like, you're trying to like set up like a meeting with people, and they're just like trying to say the same thing 10, 20 times over. Yeah. And it's repeating, and I'm like, what? Like why did you need to send, like, you don't need to send all of this. That's usually me. I usually get a lot of crap from my friends because it's like, why do you send such long texts? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, but it's fine. But it's like, so there's like the difference. So like voice, it's like you're either brief or you're like Faulkner. You know, so there's like just like a difference in how you write.
Yeah.
And so it's like finding you in that, and so usually that just means like writing how you speak, and like so if you speak like really poor English, like it might not be the great, like nobody speaks with grammar. Like we just don't. We speak in fragments. We cut each other off. We interrupt. Like if we had to like actually record, like when you record dialogue with people, like it's sporadic. It's literally like texting. And so it's like you can write like that, or you can like kind of like fit it into like the mold of a novel where it's like he said, she said, and like, you know, kind of have the fluff around it. So it's like, I don't know. Usually like I'll do this thing where I just like write everything that's on my mind, and then I'll look back at it and I'll kind of think, okay, these thoughts were all garbage, so just like throw them away. So like write too much and then cut it back. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to like fill the space, if you got 1,000 words, like write 1,500 like okay words or things that you think are okay, and then realize, man, I can cut a lot of this out now. Yeah, if you can't think of what to talk about, just like start talking. You know? Yeah. Fun facts, fun tips. That's how like I do it, I guess. For writers, yeah. Granted, like have not been published or anything remotely of the sort. Like no, have not been paid yet for my work. I had a professor sophomore year, sophomore year in the fall. His name was Dr. Kallendorf, and this boy was awesome. For one, he was like a follower of Jesus, which was cool, and he was like pretty soft about it, but like there was times where he's like, hey, like I go here and this is, you know, what we do here, but like I always kind of write a little bit sarcastically in class essays because like I'm just like, I gotta get through this, and so like I'll write like as I'm speaking, you know. And my teachers in high school hated that. Like I remember a couple teachers that were just like, you need to be more professional, you need to be more concise, you can't, like, because it just doesn't sound like proper English, you know, and sometimes the grammar's bad. But like my professor was like, this is the strongest voice I've seen in like 5 years, and it's so original. And I was like literally like comparing Aristotle to Leonard Skinner, and it was the funniest. Oh my gosh. It was so like, I found somebody who appreciated my art, and it just warmed my soul so much. Yeah.
It's the best feeling.
Yeah, it's good. So it's like, whether or not you think you're a good writer, or whether or not people have told you you're good or bad, it's like, just be you, Finn. It's just you. Find yourself. Yeah. But it's good. I don't know. Trying, yeah. But we both go here to the chapel. Aquí. Español. University Lutheran Chapel. And you came here, so I came here, like, started my fall freshman year. You came here in the spring. Yes. But you are now on our leadership team. You're doing public relations for us, which is super dope. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I ain't done that. Shh. No, actually, but I do want to talk about that, though, because, like, that was my little position last year, and I was in the same boat where it was like, okay, I'm doing it. And then I was like, I'm not doing it. Like what's that like, girl?
It's interesting. I was like, ooh, I have like a platform. I can, you know, I
exactly.
Can, like, give out daily positive thoughts. And I haven't done that yet. I was like,
it's so funny.
I totally get it. I was like, you can just like say happy words every once in a while. I haven't done anything. I'm like, I'll take pictures at the chapel. I'll take pictures of people. But every time I whip out my phone, I feel like weird. I feel like a mom. Like, hey, smile. So
people love cameras though.
I know.
You know,
but
it's like and they'll be weird for the camera, which like might make it like a little like unnatural. Like it's not so candid. People were getting mad at me last year because I was taking such candid photos of them, and like I might not have screened all of them by everybody, so I was like posting candid photos of people like at prayer booth or like at like outreach events, and they were like, "This isn't the best photo of me." I'm like, "Ugh, you're probably right." Like, sorry everyone, but yeah, don't worry about it. Just be you. That's your art. Catch people in the moment. Just ambush them. It's
all right.
that.
I gotta get better at that. Keep me accountable.
Accountability. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
I'm here for a lot of things. Actually, that's literally all I'm here for right now. It's just like, it's weird not having a role, you know? Because, like, I kind of assumed coming in, at least to the chapel, it's like, okay, you've got the leadership team, you know, and kind of assumed, like, there's a little bit of a hierarchy to it. It's like you got president, vice president, and kind of like the, you know, treasurer, secretary, and it's not like it goes, like, straight down, but it's like president, and he's kind of, like, leading the team and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, cool. You just like kind of go up. But then I like, after last year, I was like, I'm not sure I want to go up. You know? Not sure that's for me. Not sure that's where like God's calling me. Got other stuff going on. And it was just kind of weird to see like the underclassmen step up. Because we got like mostly like sophomores on our leadership team, which is cool. Partly because upperclassmen aren't being super involved. That's on us. But it's like, really cool to see, like, because we're also like kind of small, you know.
Yeah.
We're a pretty tight knit group, which is awesome. But it also gives like such an amazing opportunity for like the underclassmen to lead and perform. And upperclassmen still show up to like events and Bible studies and get to like, you know, serve under and like serve with like the underclassmen. So it's like there's not this strict like, oh, you're older, so I have to listen to you type of thing. Yeah, that's something cool that I noticed.
Yeah, for sure. In high school, that was such a big deal. Like, oh my gosh, the senior said something, so I have to, like, listen to that. But now it's just, like, so chill. I think it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah. Co-leading with Aiden for freshman Bible study.
That boy. Our resident
funny.
frat boy at the chapel.
Oh my
I love him
gosh.
so much. I think we're starting Beta Sig. I don't know.
Buy the bumper stickers.
Is it a bumper sticker? I thought, because people put them on, like, the windshield, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that what you call them, the bumper sticker? I don't know.
It's not the bumper, though.
The sticker. The sticker
Yeah,
for your
the sticker.
car.
That's like $5. Like, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yo, that's what I found. I found a bunch of free. Wait, did I tell you about this yesterday? The free stickers that I found.
No.
Oh, so I brought a bunch of stickers from my home church, Concordia, to here a long while ago to do like outreach because like college kids love stickers. They put them on everything. Yeah, like the water bottle. Yeah, exactly. Is that a custom ink sticker?
Yeah.
What, did that just like come on a box?
No.
Your girl's got a custom ink sticker on her water bottle.
No, I'm the vice president for another organization, so I ordered shirts. And so I got all the shirts, and I got a sticker.
Just with the box with the order?
It comes on every shirt.
Just put it on the one.
Tag now.
No, what you do though, you get like, well, how many shirts did you order? Like
30-ish?
30? Yeah, you get
20,
like all
30?
30 stickers that you just like cover your water bottle with.
Should have.
Like pretend like you're a rep for custom ink. Might be, yeah. It'd be fun.
I mean, they have cute stickers with like a cute little smiley octopus.
Is it an
I think.
See, I know it's supposed to be an octopus, but it's like there's only 4, right? I can't
There's
tell where the
actually 6.
tentacles end and where it
So
begins.
like
1, 2, 3.
3, 4, 5, 6.
So it's a hexapus.
Yeah, well, the other ones are just behind him. They're like.
I guess so.
They're in my water right
I guess
now.
it's like a 2D. Yeah, it's a 2D representation.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I never thought about that at all.
I mean, that's what I've always thought it was.
Yeah.
But they're custom ink, so maybe those are ink droplets, and that's just a smiley person.
I think it was supposed to be an octopus, and then I think it is a hexapus though.
Okay.
Got the LCMSU sticker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where'd you get that? I don't have one.
At the
The conference? Did you go to the conference?
No.
No.
I didn't. I went for the MSC open house last semester.
Oh, did Pastor
Spring
just have
semester.
them?
Yeah.
Huh.
Apparently we ran out of them like that because college kids love stickers.
No, exactly. I'm just like, we just have this weird affinity for stickers.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
it's
North
like a
Face.
new thing. Everyone's like, ooh, let me put a sticker on literally everything.
Yeah, because my laptop's not like super decked out, but like I've got like my half dozen stickers.
No, you have cool stickers on there.
Yeah, got
like 'em.
repping Logic, repping Beats and Breakaway and Impact and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Stuff like that. No, but I found so like my church back home, Concordia, we had I guess it was like a hashtag campaign. I don't know exactly how it started, where it was like hashtag you are made alive, John 11:25. So it's like Jesus talking about like I'm the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, though he die, shall live. That type of thing. Super dope, Jesus. And so like people were putting that like on their windshields, on their bumpers, on their laptops, like all over. Like that's kind of like if you go to like our church back home, you'd probably have a sticker somewhere, you know? And my pastor had like a fat stack of extra stickers with that same thing. And it was like kind of catchy. It's like, oh, cool. It's got a Bible verse, you know, short and sweet. It's a hashtag, like looks trendy, right? And so I was like, I'm going to bring these back to the chapel. And whenever we do outreach, I'm going to like bring them out there so we could give people stickers and get people there. Cause like when we have the cookies and stuff, and I'm like, stickers are dope. We can bring the stickers. And I did. And I brought them like the first 2 times. And like, I always tried to put the stickers back with like the prayer booth stuff and keep it organized. But I didn't one day. And I forgot where I left them for the longest time. I know. But then yesterday when we were doing prayer booth, or after we came back, I found them. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah,
I need a sticker.
No, oh, dude. Okay, we'll get you one definitely after this. I can show you what. No, wait. Do I have it? Shoot. No. It's not on my laptop either. Wow. I need to go on from my laptop. No, you'll see it.
Okay.
We'll post a pic of it later for people who are listening and stuff like that. No, it's really cool. No, and what's even greater about that is like kind of funny story. Like, you are made alive, YAMA, right? Hashtag it. So that's also the like acronym for this podcast, but it's Young Adults Made Alive. And I actually like texted my pastor back home, and I was like, by the way, this is the idea I have for this. Can I use the YAMA logo? And he was like, sure. And I was like, dope, but I couldn't find the stickers. But I found them yesterday, so now I'm like, we have stickers.
Oh my gosh, this is the real deal now.
I know. Well, because like, I remember I legit spent like probably an hour on custom ink trying to design a new sticker, which is like, I think it's like the logo now on like the Facebook page or something like that. But I was like, gotta make a new sticker, but then it's like money to buy stickers, and I was like, I'm not sure I want to do that because it's just kind of like a chill thing going on. But I found the old ones, and I was so happy.
That's so cool, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like even better because they got scripture on them. John 11:25.
Even better.
Whoop. Whoop. Sweet. I said oop instead of whoop.
Aiden. I'm just kidding.
LOL.
Aiden's an underclassman. For now.
For now. I don't know. I'll give him JPs later. I'm very generous with JPs. Are you, dude? What's your policy on JPs?
Never given them out.
Really?
Yeah.
Just hoard them all?
All mine.
Oh,
no.
You had to earn these.
I mean, kinda.
Kinda?
No.
Okay.
I just don't give them to Aiden because it's funny. Because all of the way he like doesn't say whoop but does say whoop just secretly cracks me up. So I'm like, I'll just let you keep being creative.
I'll just like, that was
with your wahoops.
Wahoops. No, because I don't know if I should admit to this. This is minor confession time. I definitely pulled out a lot as an underclassman. Like, I've been whooping since freshman year.
What?
I know, TBH. Like, I didn't care. Because I'm not in the core. Nobody ever made me push. You know?
True.
Because it's just like you do like 20 push-ups or whatever it is. And like,
I thought it was like 2020.
I don't know. It's like the rumors and whatever. But like nobody made me push, so I just did it. And like no one ever like called me out on it. So, yeah.
Nice.
That might be a slight disrespect for a tradition.
Wow.
But
such blatant disregard.
Yeah, just a blatant disregard for the establishment and everything the A&M has stood for since the beginning of time.
Oh my gosh.
Or 1876 when the Grant Morrill Act came into play and donated so many square acres to, I don't know.
Yeah.
Texas Agricultural and Mechanical College.
TAMU.
TAMCA. Texas AMC. Oh. It's in the war hymn. Wait, is it the war hymn? No.
No, it's one of the yells.
Spirit of Aggieland. Yeah, it's the spirit. Yeah. No, because there's the one that might be like rah, rah, rah team. But then there's also the Spirit of Aggieland, where it's just where they sing it. Mm-hmm. Texas, like, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
1, 2, 3.
5 Aggies. No, but I was also, like, super creative in terms of, like, what I would say instead of whoop.
Uh-huh.
So, like, I would do, like, poop, scoop, shoot. Like, anything that, like, rhymed with whoop, I would say. Yeah, I wanted to make a video for the longest time that was just, like, literally every word that rhymed with whoop, and just, like, do, like, do a connect in the background, and then just, like, have some guy going, scoop, and then he has, like, cereal or something like that. Or, like, do a connect, and it's, like, shoot, and it's, like, he's got a Nerf gun or something like.
Yeah.
Or, like, shoots, like, a 3.
So many vines out of that.
Honestly, I'm still thinking about it, though, because now we have cameras. Now I got cameras. I could probably do it if I got time. I can't edit, though. I'd have to give it to Austin. I'll do it. I'll probably do it. Hold me accountable. Everyone listening, hold me accountable. Ask me about that video. No,
Video.
What video? Accountability, common theme in this podcast, I guess.
It's a great thing.
But, man. No, because you talked about your other organization. That's not even something that I thought about.
Oh.
Tell us about it.
Let's see. So, Vita Volunteer. Shameless
Vita Volunteer?
Shameless plug, yes. VIDA Volunteer. Join us if you're pre-med, pre-dental, pre-vet. Anyways, just kidding.
Pre-anything.
Pre-health. Or you just like, yeah. So it's a cool organization. I've gone on 2 trips with them.
Okay.
The first one we started in Costa Rica and ended in Nicaragua. And the second one was all in Guatemala. And we basically just set up clinics for those who can't, like, go to clinics on their own.
Yeah.
So Vita, it's an organization out of Costa Rica.
Mm-hmm.
And they're actually, like, the healthcare for a lot of people. Like, they come through each community around every 3-4 months.
Okay.
And so that's the doctors that these people see for, like, most of their lives.
Dang.
Or not most. I mean, yeah. Like, they'll regularly see. And so it's just so cool to, like, go to those clinics for a couple days, and these people are just, like, so thankful.
Yeah.
And, like, I can't speak Spanish, really. But we've got translators there, and I mean, you're doing the best you can. I have no background in medicine, really.
No hablo español.
Yeah, I know a little bit about what I'm talking about, but not a whole lot. And so that's why the doctors are there. We're not just handing out meds for no reason. But, like, people
Here you go. Would you like some fries with
ibuprofen.
that?
Yeah.
Do you want fries with that? No.
Just walk it off.
Goes to third world country. Walk it off. Jesus loves you.
Yeah. No, it's so crazy. They're just, like, so grateful.
They probably would too, though. They'd be like, okay, the doctor said it. Like,
I mean, it's so cool. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, you got to go. Well, down to Honduras? No. Guatemala. How was your experience?
So, it was so much fun. It was my second time going, so I was like, I'm not going to learn a whole lot. Because, I mean, you see...
You thought.
Yeah.
You thought.
I was so wrong there. I learned so much more the second year. Because, like, you go and they teach you, how to take, like, basic vitals.
Right.
And then, like, the basic kind of conditions and, like, diseases that you'll see during the clinic. A lot of, like, UTIs and dehydration and just, like, different things like that,
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, I've seen this. But I just learned so much more. The doctors this last time were so much more, they held us a lot more accountable.
Right.
Buzzword.
Ooh, got him.
About, like,
see how many times we can mention it in one episode.
Keep me accountable. They, like, really wanted us to, like, do our homework. So we would see interesting cases throughout the day.
Yeah.
And they'd assign each group to go and Google, what causes that or what.
Oh.
So we prescribe this medication for that. Why? What is, like, what's the medication doing inside the body and things? Or, like, there's 2 different medications for one condition. Why this one versus the other? It was really cool. And it was, so interesting to actually, like, look further into, like, why this antacid versus that one. And just different things like that.
Biology again.
Yeah.
The chemistry.
Biology and chemistry. My
Guess
favorite.
this girl amped up.
It does. It was so cool. The girl I was looking it up with was like, okay, we're done. I was like, no.
No.
We gotta look more.
Look at this Wikipedia page. There's like 30 links at the bottom.
We can check their sources. No, not really. The Wi-Fi was so slow, and we were looking off of like the little iPhone screen.
Oh, that's right.
You know?
Service over there is gonna be.
Yeah.
Oof.
It was fun though.
Yeah.
And we got to stay. You know, you stay in hotels, but then you stay with a homestay family
Gotcha.
for a couple
that's so
nights. Yeah. And so there are people that Vita, as an organization, like knows. They've been working with them, that background checks.
Vetted them and
yeah. So we're not just staying with randos.
Randos.
And yeah.
10 out of 10 would not recommend randos.
Probably not. Yeah. Sometimes you might get lucky. Sometimes you might not. Who knows?
Right.
But
get lucky and be safe. No. We got him. Sometimes you might get lucky too, but sorry, world. I'll have to repent for that later. It's fine.
Oh, gosh.
LOL.
Anyways, just kidding.
Semantics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep things funny, lighthearted.
Lighthearted.
But
keep it pure, kids. Keep it pure.
PG, LGA.
LGA.
Life group. What's
Got him.
A? Appropriate.
Life group appropriate?
Yeah.
What's life group appropriate?
Okay. PG.
Oh.
13. You know.
Okay.
What you wouldn't say.
Got you.
Yeah. Kind of thing.
I don't know.
So.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I always, we had PG. We had PG-13, but it occurred to me that I didn't actually know what those meant, you know? Because I was like, keep it PG, which generally means like, okay, like, let's like not do anything too radical here, you know? But it was also like, I wonder what the Movie Picture Association of America actually says about PG. Because for a while, have you ever seen Spaceballs by Mel Brooks? Or anything by Mel Brooks?
I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay. So Spaceballs is exactly what it sounds like. It's just a raunchy movie about, like, it's a parody of Star Wars, Star Trek, like, nerding out, but it's a bunch of comedians. Have you seen it?
No, I was picturing the like golden retriever puppies. What's theirs?
Oh, Space Buds?
Okay.
Space Buds versus those are two totally different. Space Buds versus Spaceballs, two totally different movies. Okay, so Space Buds is definitely PG, but Spaceballs, I think I'm gonna have to look this up afterwards. Was PG when it was released in like 70s or the 80s, but what PG meant in like the 80s is not what it means right now.
Really?
Yeah, because it was either PG or R. There was nothing as PG-13. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. And so, and even PG-13 now, it's like you've got a certain number of whatevers that you can do, and you just have to pretty much keep most of your clothes on, I think. Most of your clothes on are just like, I don't know, swimsuits or something. But it's like PG in like 1970, 80 something. It's like...
Really?
Yeah. It's like, it's definitely more implicit than it is explicit, if that makes sense. I don't remember there being like really any nudity or anything like that. Because like my dad showed me when I was like 10 or 11, because he's just like, here's a funny movie. And it's like all these jokes that you like kind of sort of get. Like we're laughing at the fact that it's like kind of like Star Wars, but a lot more funny.
Yeah.
Right? But of course there's a lot of just like implicit stuff, like a lot of innuendos that like, it's not super explicit, but it's like, they still classified it as PG.
Yeah.
Would not get classified as PG right now.
Really?
So yeah, so whenever someone's like, keep it PG, I'm just like, I wonder if they know what that means. Yeah, exactly. Is it 1970s? Is it Mel Brooks PG? Is it Disney Pixar PG? What is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird, but yeah, exactly.
It's so funny watching like old movies like that. I watched, what is it? Mulan, like a year ago.
Mulan. That's not old.
It used to be one of my favorite movies. And then I watched it like a year ago, and there were so many things that I didn't even think were funny, but like I was laughing so hard.
Yo, Disney's real good. Talk about implicit humor.
Oh my gosh.
Disney. It's so funny.
Just like, this is not the same movie I watched when I was 5.
Right. But it is, and so that's like that's the crazy part. So it's like what goes over your head type of thing, and I was like, what? What's the? Is it Mushu? the dragon in there.
Yeah.
Bro, Mushu is my freaking spirit animal.
So funny.
I love it. It's like, no, because he reminds me. Is it Eddie Murphy?
I think it is.
Okay, was Eddie Murphy also Donkey in Shrek? I feel like, oh gosh.
Was it Eddie Murphy or Chris Rock? That was Donkey.
Oh well, I can Google it actually. I have a phone right here.
Yeah, you have like an
maybe
entire
Siri.
computer.
Oh yeah, who played Donkey in Shrek?
I found 6 donkey for you to choose from.
6 Donkey.
6 Donkey.
Shrek features Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy, Cameron Diaz, and others.
Eddie Murphy. Okay, so it was Eddie Murphy.
What is Chris Rock then? He's some.
Chris Rock's everywhere though. I think no. Chris Rock was in Madagascar.
That's who it is.
He was Marty,
Yeah.
the zebra in Madagascar, and that was
not the
funny.
donkey, yeah.
No, yeah, but Eddie Murphy was Donkey, and I think he was Mushu. But like before I even knew that I loved Eddie Murphy, I knew I loved Mushu,
Yeah.
and I was like, ooh, and like the day I found out Robin Williams was the genie from Aladdin, my life was actually made.
No.
Yes.
Oh.
My
God.
I know. No, it's stuff. It was like people like listening to this who like were watching it. Like my parents when they saw it with us, they're like, yeah, like it's just because they can read the credits when we're 5 and they're like 40. You know, like they know who's in
Who
it.
pays attention to the credits when you're 5?
Yeah, well, who can read them when you're like 3 or 4? It's
True.
like you know, it's just oh look, it's the Aladdin. Like
Yeah.
That's my voice. Thanks, America.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said that.
I'm not sure. Just smile and nod.
But subtle nod to the greatest country on earth? Maybe. I don't know. It could be.
Just give and take.
Give and take? Yeah. That was just a good look. You were just like, you thought about it and you're like, I could say something right now. But I'm like, no.
I mean, honestly, I'm not educated enough in politics to have much to say, so.
Neither am I. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
What do you think about the state of the union, of the universe?
Of the universe.
Or the union, I guess.
The union.
Yeah, they just
They're
had this.
two completely different things.
Yeah.
Huh?
I don't know. It's my universe. No, I'm kidding. But it's
He's
like
at the center of the universe. It's just revolving.
that's nationalism is what that is, I think.
Yeah,
But-
definitely.
But what do you think? What do you think's going on in the world?
I don't know.
In our world.
Oh, man. Okay.
Oh, man. Rants by Hannah. Loving rants. That's what we could do. We could do a segment like Loving Rants by Christians.
Hypocrites. No, I'm just kidding.
What was that the Big Spring voice? Just like hypocrites.
No, that was like the I don't know. It came out of the wrong
I don't know.
context. Because I was thinking, you know, everyone's like, these dang millennials. It was that, but that's a complete different thing. So.
Oh, man. We're not even millennials, people.
I know.
Get it right. It's Gen Z. We got different issues, nonetheless. Issues.
Anyway.
And I've got twice that. No, I'm just kidding.
We got a lot of issues. Oh, well. That's fine.
Girl, what you thinking about though? What you think about the world we live in?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Let's see. Healthy food is definitely too expensive.
Explain.
one thing.
Elaborate.
I mean, you can get an entire meal from McDonald's consisting of your entire daily value of calories.
Really?
And more than you need of fats and like all the other things for like $3.
Wow.
But a salad is like $7. So of course, you know, when money's tight, you're gonna go for like the giant meal that's actually gonna fill you up. That's cheaper.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, it's really sad. And I mean, lots of other things do that. That's just like a really basic one.
Basic one.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a public health gal. What do you think about the health of the public right now? You're just like, do I say it? Do I not say it?
We need to be more active, you know.
Yeah.
People are getting better about that, eating better.
What does that look like?
I mean, everything in moderation, honestly. I
Yeah?
don't think you need to, like, completely cut out chocolate. Like, I love chocolate.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
No, I love chocolate. But, I mean, you gotta know, you know. You gotta eat the right things
The right things.
every once in a while, you know.
The
Treat
right-
yourself. But
Treat
not,
yourself.
But not all the time.
Yeah.
But, like, don't freak out about it too much. Because then when you freak out about it, like, oh, I can't have this chocolate, it just makes you want it even more.
That's true.
So, just kind of have a whatever attitude about it. But not totally
I
joking.
think that's where we're at right now.
No. Totally joking.
LOL.
But
Yeah, what we're doing's fine. Just like no rebuke at all. Like,
no.
We need to wake up, America. Eat your asparagus.
Spinach, that's great. Sauteed.
Sauteed spinach?
Yes.
How do you saute spinach? How do you saute anything? What does saute mean?
You put like a little bit of
Oil?
olive oil in the pan.
Oh, okay.
And I usually put some garlic or some pesto and like whatever season you want, and then just throw that baby in there. Or you like cook the tomatoes first so they get super soft and they turn basically into a sauce, and then you throw your spinach.
None of
in.
those I have in my apartment. It's like Barilla pasta, and then like 3 pounds of ground beef, and then like canned vegetables.
Okay.
Do you know if
canned vegetables?
Yeah.
It's a step.
It's a step, yeah. Are they good still? Because I think that, like, because I know it's like, you've got like the bioavailableness of nutrients.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's like, I guess like the fresher stuff is, I understand it's like,
Yeah.
you know, the more you're going to
Definitely
get
gonna
it.
be better.
And the less you like cook it too, apparently. Because like the more you cook something, you can actually like, you know, denature the nutrients. Is that right?
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
I think it just depends on the nutrient.
Because I know protein's that way.
I just started thinking, like when you said that, like denaturing them. Like they might denature, but that also might make it easier for your body to break down and get the nutrients like from, you know? So I don't know.
Right. We're all students right now. We're learning.
Yeah, we're learning.
If we knew what we were talking about, we wouldn't be here.
I wouldn't still be in school. But I do know that like canned vegetables have a lot of sodium and like preservatives, you know, all that stuff. Maybe some aluminum, depending on the can, depending on who you're asking.
I wonder.
Don't know for sure.
I only, well, because I know sodium for me has been like an issue. I mean, that's one of the big issues for like all of America, isn't it? It's like we get way too much salt.
I mean, it depends on what you're eating.
Right.
And so if you're eating like fast food or like the easy prep kind of meals, then usually you are getting like a lot of sodium.
Yeah.
So
like cheese and salty snacks.
Oh, I love cheese.
I love cheese too, but it's like super salty. You wouldn't think it.
But you actually need salt, you know?
Right.
Like you need your electrolytes
To balance it out. You need like the potassium too. Get some fruit, right? Bananas. Milk's got potassium in it. I think. Yeah, it does.
It's got calcium.
Calcium, potassium, vitamin D. So you don't have to go get cancer by standing in the sun for like 6 hours a day or whatever ridiculous thing it is.
Yeah.
It's not that ridiculous.
You actually need one to break down the other. For calcium and vitamin D. Can't remember which one.
I think it's vitamin D to get calcium.
Yeah. One of them you need to absorb.
No, and that's the thing. I have a big beef with skim milk, partially because it tastes bad. Do you like skim milk?
Yes.
Okay.
I like skimmer one. I cannot drink whole milk.
Okay. Well, here's my thing. I not only need whole milk, I need like Dutch chocolate whole milk because it's just like
chocolate.
Or like not Dutch, but like that's an exaggeration. But just like chocolate milk is like thicker than whole milk even. So you know, and so it's like, for one, just the taste. I want something that I can taste. I don't want just like white water. You know.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So it's like a consistency thing. But I took a nutrition class freshman year, and I'm pretty sure this information is valid. Is like vitamin D is a fat soluble vitamin. Right. And so if you're not getting fat in with the vitamin D that comes from the milk, then you don't have the things that you need to actually get the vitamin D.
Yeah.
So you think, okay, I'm drinking all this like skim milk, there's like less fat in it or no fat in it, I'm getting all this fortified vitamin D, but you're not able to break it down and use it because you're not getting the fat, not owning up to it, and drinking whole milk like a champion.
There's a balance.
There's a balance.
Yeah.
I could be totally wrong. I don't know.
No, I mean, it sounds...
I heard about it in lecture.
Right.
It stuck with me. It was another reason for me to drink whole milk. I bought it, went to imright.com, checked the box, shared the link.
Awesome. Thank you, world.
Thank you, world. No, and then
That sounds right.
Yeah, well, because it's also, like, the more your body's used to something, the more easily it breaks it down. Right, so it just like learns what it's used to and stuff like that. So it's like if you drink skim milk all the time, or just like have a really low fat diet, and then try to wean yourself back onto fat. So say you're like trying to lose weight, you cut out fat, then you wean back on fat, you're actually going to have a harder time breaking down the fat because you haven't been giving it to your body to digest. That's pretty sure, I think.
I mean, that's the, like, issue, like, I don't know if this is where you're going. But, like, you know, when people are, like, trying to lose weight, so they, like, just stop eating. And so that, like, really, that might have something
that
to
lowers
do,
your
like,
metabolism.
Yeah. And so then when you do eat, your body's going to, like, hold on to that because it's got to store it for the next time that you, like, don't eat, you know? So it has energy to break down. So that's an interesting, there's probably some kind of biology in there.
There's biology and chemistry.
Just haven't learned it yet. Yes.
We'll put it in the books when they prove it right. You heard it here first.
Figure it out.
I think it's already been proven right. I'm probably just like shooting off in the darkness here. We'll find it out later.
I'll let you know in a little while.
I keep saying like we'll figure it out later. It's like I'm gonna go home and sleep.
I'm gonna Google it. No,
doesn't fact check self. It's like oof, real or not real. Sorry, not
a lot
sorry.
of cliffhangers, but
that's something that you can do. Humble listeners, this is the start of a conversation. It's never the end of one. You've got Google, you've got Safari, or Bing.
Chrome.
If you're one of the like 3 people who use Bing, you can look this up. There's Wikipedia. Go look on Wikipedia. Wikipedia is a reliable source. I don't know what people are talking about.
I think it's like getting harder to.
Yeah, they've done a lot of good job at Wikipedia.
And so I think Wikipedia needs to be a good source for research.
Well, because when it's like opinionated stuff, and like when stuff is just like kind of opinion based to begin with, it's like, okay, don't go to an encyclopedia or like the public can like do an entry. But if it's like, okay, what's the like acceleration due to gravity? It's like Wikipedia is good for that. Like,
I mean, something
don't be
basic.
Yeah, don't be doubting. Yeah. Don't be throwing shade at Wikipedia. They're trying to help people.
It's always the number one thing when you ask a question on Google.
Yeah.
Almost always.
I mean, they gotta be kind of reliable.
I would think so.
Hold them accountable.
Accountability, Wikipedia.
Got him again. No, do you ever get the ads when you go on Wikipedia where they ask you to donate?
Oops. I'm a poor college student right now.
Well, no, because they're always like so nice about it and so like genuine, and it's not like a fake site. Like it's their thing where it's like, okay, if you give us $3, then like that legit helps like the whole thing run. And I'm like, okay, I get it. But they also made the mistake. There was like, I think I screenshotted it one time where the message was, "Hey, Wikipedia reader, sadly, only 2% of you who read this message are likely to donate money to Wikipedia. That being said, why don't you like make a difference and don't be another like something along those lines?" And it's like just $3 can help this page and this site stay running. And then I was like, you just told me that 98% of the people who get this ad don't do it. So am I going to feel any worse about myself if I know 98 out of 100 people, or like 97 of the other 100 people, that I'm like reading the same ad as me is like doing the same? I'm like, you just gave me more reason to ignore you. Like I'm just
Peer
like
pressure.
Everybody's doing it. You just told me everybody's doing it. Why would be generous, people. Wikipedia. I think Wikipedia is a good site. They don't sponsor us. Maybe they could. Wikipedia.org. Organization. Back to the state of the world. Go.
Go. Let's see. Vaccinations. Those are important.
Public health.
Yeah. For sure.
What do you think about those?
They need to be.
You need to get vaccinated.
Yeah, get your flu vaccine, especially because like not everyone can take a vaccination because of like immunity. Like you're allergic to. Like autoimmune disorders, or just like like you're not like allergic to penicillin or nothing. It's like like you have an autoimmune disorder, so like you can't take a vaccination.
Yeah.
And so we learn about that a lot in public health. The whole measles outbreak now.
Oof.
And trying to like figure out how you can communicate that like vaccinations aren't actually gonna give your kid autism.
Yeah.
But
that's a thing. I don't know. Well, because it's like, what more can you say, though? It's like...
I mean, that's the thing right now. Because people either I mean, this is just from what I've understood.
Right.
Like, they need the science to back up their opinion.
Yeah.
Or their opinion is, like, completely against science because, like, they're funding this study, and so it's got to be wrong. Everything's a conspiracy theory kind of thing, you know?
Gotcha.
Or you're just
There's
like,
some of that real stuff going on with like the. Another thing I learned in my nutrition class was that, like, so for a while, like, the whole myth about, like, cholesterol being related to, like, all the heart problems and stuff like that, where people are like, watch your cholesterol, that's, like, your big correlative to blood pressure, is, like, totally bogus, or, like, mostly bogus, and it's, like, people who were doing the research on, like, what's causing heart disease were being funded, I think, by sugar companies, by, like, the American Sugar Association, to, like, manipulate the data and make it look like fat stuff and cholesterol is bad for you, when really it was like, this sugar's not good, all this refined stuff ain't good, all this salt ain't good for nobody.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh.
Pro tip. If it's fat-free, they replace a lot with sugar, and if it's sugar-free, they put a lot of fat. Because you gotta make it taste good. So.
Yeah, or salt.
Yeah.
Because salt.
Or just like some kind of fake weird thing that your body actually can't digest.
What is it, like dextrin? Maltodextrin? I don't know. I don't know what they're called.
I don't know.
Took one course. Once again, if we knew what we were talking about, we would not be here. But thanks for listening, everybody. No.
I'm not a reliable source, so please don't quote me. But
Yeah, we're encouraging further exploration.
yes.
This is the beginning of a conversation.
For sure.
Never
but
the end.
vaccinations are definitely good for you.
Yeah, find your doctor.
And
Ask them about vaccinations.
ask
If they
them
could be
about
right for you.
herd immunity. Anyways, it's another public health thing. Anyways, yeah, the more people that are vaccinated, the less viruses that are going to be in the population, and therefore,
It's a pretty good thing,
yeah,
I'd say.
that's why we eradicated smallpox eventually.
It's a good idea.
So,
Smallpox was a bad idea.
yeah, it was.
I don't know who came up with it. I wonder. No, it just kind of happens. But yeah,
Yeah. But
that's kind of interesting though, because like I know we were kind of talking earlier about how people think science and like religion and faith kind of like on two different ends of the spectrum, but it's like clearly you're pursuing the Lord in a super faithful way. You're pursuing a scientific career, a doctor career, in a super faithful way, and you can do both of them, and you're like a super happy gal.
for sure.
It's super cool, and you also, get to share that light through missions, through all that other stuff. Get to help people,
on it. Yeah.
working on it. Yeah. Is there anything like you're still working through in terms of like direction? What you want to be like as a doctor? You talked about like pediatrics and stuff like that. Like, is there stuff that's still like on the horizon that you're like currently praying about? Like, what's the next steps for Hannah Alsobrooks?
The next steps are the MCAT and graduating.
Yes. Talk about the MCAT girl.
I don't know.
You don't know?
So, like, the plan is to take it in May, but I still haven't, like, bought the books to start studying yet or any of that kind of stuff because I'm planning on taking a gap year anyways, so I don't want to put a whole lot of pressure on this.
Between, like, undergrad and grad?
Yeah.
Or like, okay.
So, like, graduate in 2020,
Whoop.
gap year, and then start in the fall of 21.
Gotcha. What you gonna do in the gap year?
I need to get that hospital time.
Ah.
So I'm phlebotomy certified, so hopefully
Ooh.
if you need your blood drawn, come see me.
Oh, that's not what I
pretty
thought.
good at it.
Wait. What's a lobotomy?
Phlebotomy.
Phlebotomy. Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you said lobotomy. I was like, oh, dang. That's when you cut into people's heads, right?
No.
Lobotomy? I'm gonna...
Oh, maybe like when you cut the nerves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll Google that right now. Lobotomy. I'm probably
Phlebotomy.
going to get this like weird phlebotomy of someone's head cut open. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Yep. Lobotomy is when you cut people's heads open.
Yeah. No.
Phlebotomy.
Phlebotomy, taking blood.
Gotcha.
And so, yeah. So I want to try and get a job with that and
Be a phlebotomist.
yeah,
Dang.
take people's blood, work in a hospital, get some
Experience.
yeah, actually start doing what I want to do.
It's dope.
So yeah, might have to take a class. We'll see. I don't know. Still gotta go talk to the Office of Professional School Advising, OPSA.
Oops.
Yeah. See what they say.
Yeah.
But
Every time I think about, like, my future, and I'm like, I feel kind of prepared, but I know they have, like, all those offices and stuff like that, like the career offices. I've never gone to one of them.
me either. Until now.
Until now.
When my advisor.
Would you recommend it? Are they pretty good up there? Or, like...
I don't know. I haven't been yet.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm working on getting
Okay.
there.
You got an
So,
appointment
yeah.
and stuff. Oh.
Not yet. I still have to call.
Working on getting an appointment.
Yeah.
Got you. Accountability.
Hopefully by the end of next week.
And next week, I'll remind
I will
you.
have an appointment scheduled.
Yes.
So, yeah. But, I don't know. Right now, I'm just kind of seeing where God's taking me. I'm pretty sure it's medicine. I mean,
Yeah.
it's medicine. But,
Heck
like,
yeah.
pretty sure it's doctor, you know. But, I don't know. I'm always open
Yeah.
to see if there's something else he's got.
It's a good thing to be, girl.
So, yeah. I mean, whatever he's got. Whatever opportunities pop up. Let's see. That's pretty much what's going on right now. I'm just trying to get through school.
Get through school. That's
And
a good way.
still not overwhelm myself, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I did that last semester. It was real bad. So.
Talk about that a little bit. Well, was it just like a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety? Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I said, I put a lot of pressure on myself last semester with like OChem.
Okay.
And so kind of like what I was talking about, like with my friend earlier, you know, how
Right.
she's like, I want to be where God's going to take me. I was thinking, I'm failing OChem. I'm not going to get into medical school.
Yeah.
And then,
Freaking out.
like, what's God got to do with me now? Like, I screwed up his plan.
That ain't true.
He pulled out that A.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to get a B, but he got an A. So, I mean, where was I going with that? Oh, yeah. Oh, man. And so, yeah, there's pressure with that. And then, you know, just like family pressure kind of things, you know.
It's
My
tough, girl.
parents hold me to a high standard, which,
Right.
like, I hold
Yeah.
myself to a high standard.
Accountability.
Yeah.
Got him again.
Woo! We need to start
Buzzword.
tallying that.
No, literally. Oh, man, we should have done that. Dang it. When I first said it. We'll do
well.
it.
We're
Yeah.
up to, like, 5 or 6-ish.
Shoot, now I'm actually going to have to listen back to this whole thing. And maybe make a tally. I might make a tally. I
Leave it in
probably
the
won't.
comment section.
If somebody wants to listen to this whole thing and it's been keeping a tally, God bless you.
T's and G's.
We'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
Be honest with us.
Yes.
Yeah. But that family pressure is real.
Yeah.
Because Big Spring's like 5 hours away,
6.
6 hours away. How's it like? I mean, just college life, going through all this stuff, and it's like you're never alone. You've got Christ, you've got the Spirit with you, you've got all this good community here at the chapel and your life group and this like, organizations and stuff. Like you've got community, but like family, it's just a different type of connection because these are the people who hopefully like have known you your whole life, who know you pretty well.
Yeah.
They know what buttons to push, but they also just like know you and where your heart's at and like want to support you. Like what's it kind of like going through these past couple of years with them being so far away?
I like that I'm 6 hours away from home.
Right.
Because I can't go home
On a
every
whim.
weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it like forces me to be independent, which I'm like pretty independent regardless anyways.
Yeah.
But also it kind of like allows me, because I was really sheltered growing up.
Yeah.
Both my parents work in
Prison ministry.
corrections. Yeah.
Yeah.
The prison. And so,
It's ministry.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I
That's
mean,
so cool though.
I think it is. Like,
Yeah.
I like listening to their stories about it.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. And so they're always super, like, helicopter who you're
Right.
hanging out with. And then I was like, it's cool and stuff. And so, like, here, I get to just kind of, like, make my own decisions, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes you mess up, sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And so it's nice to, like, have their opinions, you know? And, like, their approval, which, like, I want. But also, sometimes it's kind of, like, an overbearing kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm, like, 6 hours away. So I do what I
Right.
get to grow more, I guess.
Okay.
Like, on my own without,
Yeah.
I guess, them watching so closely.
Right.
And kind of, like,
You don't have to perform for them
Yeah.
every second of the day.
exactly.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't have to, like, worry so much about what they would have done in the situation. Like,
Yeah.
I just get to do what I want to do.
Got you.
So,
You learn better that way. I mean,
Yeah.
even kids, it's like there's just like helicopter parents, because now it's like, oh gosh, like the world's pretty like messed up and you want your kids to be safe, but it's also like the more like top down like play becomes, and like the less kids actually have time to like run around and roam and play and like hurt themselves a little bit. It's like the less they actually learn from one another, and the more they like become kind of dependent on like parents to be the ones who shadow them, who provide for them, who give for them. Like they don't learn that independence, which is, I mean, it's not like worst case scenario. It's not like the entire world's falling apart, but it's like it's just you get a different generation of kids growing up where it's like there's different expectations about coming out of high school, coming out of college, like how much are my parents support me versus how much am I going to be responsible for taking care of myself. And like most loving parents are going to be like supportive to like some extent, like to what they can do, but it's also like I don't like having a crutch. Like I mean I grew up in like a really good home, like and like there's been moments where I was kind of like borderline ashamed of that, because it's like, man, I didn't have to like quote unquote fight for this. Like a lot of stuff was given to me, like a good education, good friends to be around, good opportunities in like sports, and like learning tennis from like a good coach, like private coaches and instructors, like stuff that like other kids like wouldn't be able to like afford, literally. But it's also like there was so much that I had to do individually, where my parents, I mean, both of them worked, mostly full time. My mom was out of the country a lot of the time when I was in high school, at least like freshman, sophomore year. So it was like I had this, I don't know, like privilege. It definitely was privilege, but I also had a lot of responsibility that came with that privilege, and just kind of like growing up, not that it like made me like so much better than everybody else, but like I follow friends on Facebook now, and I follow like people from high school, and it's like you see how people are doing. It's like, oh yeah, this person who, I mean, life was kind of handed to them the first 18 years, and then they had to take life, and it was like not like kill somebody, but like they kind of had to like grab life by the horns, and like and go their own direction and like have some independence. It's like they just decided they weren't going to do that, and I was like, whoa, that's just kind of sad. Not again, like not to be like super down about it, but it's just like it's interesting to see how much, again, like the play and like how much your parents are involved with their like helicopters and stuff like that. I think there's definitely got to be a lot more trust between like both parents and children. Like that's been a thing forever, but it's like how do you get that trust, especially like the parents' trust of the child to have freedom and independence.
But then there's also like trusting, I guess, like you were saying, trusting the child to like make the right decisions if they're presented in that situation. Because my parents are always like, I'm not worried about you, I'm worried about the other people.
Right.
And, like, but trust that I can like handle that, sort of thing. So
that's good. I think that was a general thing for me as well. It was just like my parents were like sometimes worried about me, because like, I mean, I had that phase where it's like I'm quiet and just like figuring stuff out, just like not wanting to talk to a lot of people, super introverted. But it was like also like they kind of knew where my moral compass was, even when I wasn't like straight like on fire for Jesus. It was still kind of like solid in a way, like pretty solid morally. So they trusted me with the car, and they trusted me with a curfew that was really lenient in terms, I think it was like 12 or 12:30. I just had to be back, turn the lights off, and I was like, oh my gosh, anywhere I am until 12:30, I just got to text them and let them know. There's a big amount of trust that they had in me, and like I just didn't want to betray that. I did, I mean, more than once, but there was one time when I like actually got like chewed out for it. So like, I think it was definitely either my junior or my senior year, because I had my car, and it was on the weekend. It was Saturday afternoon at like 12 o'clock, and I wanted to go downtown to see a tennis match at Trinity. It was just like one of the colleges in San Antonio. And so I told my dad and my mom, like, hey, I'm gonna go down to Trinity, I'm gonna watch this match. Or I might have just been like at practice and then like texted them, hey, I'm gonna go see this match. And I go there, and the match goes to like 3:30 or 4. But then like as I'm at the match, I'm kind of texting my buddy like, hey, do you mind if I come over after the match? And he's like, sure. So my phone dies kind of like as I'm driving from the match to my buddy's house. But then I spend like the whole night at my buddy's house with my phone. My phone's just off. And I didn't charge it. I didn't try to charge it or anything like that. And I didn't think about it because I told my parents, like, okay, I'm going to the match. But I didn't tell them I was going to my buddy's house.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it was like 12 in the afternoon probably when I left my house. But then it was like midnight when they started like calling friends and family, like, where is this boy? You know? And luckily, like, it was a good friend of ours. His name's Alec. And so they eventually called his mom or his dad first, or like, you know, they were in the line, and they were like, oh yeah, he's here. And they were like, what? They're like, yeah, he's here with Alec. And I'm like, ooh. Right. And so like I kept my phone off because I knew as soon as I like charged it and turned it back on, there was going to be like those voicemails and those like messages that were like progressively like more aggressive and more like authoritarian in terms of
caps.
like, you better like, yeah. And like my parents again like are super trustworthy, but like that moment where like I like breached that trust, it was just like poof, the walls cracked down.
Yeah.
Real quick. There's probably like only 2 or 3 moments where I've ever seen like my dad more upset with me than that, because he's just like genuinely didn't know where I was for 12 hours, and I was like, oof, it was bad.
Yikes.
But you also got to have that like trust of like what the parents telling you, which I think is even harder.
That's true.
Yeah. Did you ever have those moments where like your mom or your dad's like telling you something, you're like, whatever, mom and dad, but then you kind of realize like, wait a minute, they know what they're talking about.
Yeah. I've had a couple of those bite me in the butt.
Yeah.
I mean, like, just different things. Let's see. So, like, I roomed with my best friend freshman year of college.
Gotcha.
I was like, this is gonna be great.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
My mom was like, don't room with your best friend. Don't. I'm like, it'll be fine.
Yeah. We're best friends. What could possibly go wrong?
What? 2 girls and 11 by 14? How bad could that be? Anyways, they were right. They were definitely right. So, yeah, there's just, like, different things like that. I was just like, should have listened.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Learn from it.
It's, like, weird because, like, I don't know. You trust your parents for so long up until, like, puberty, you know?
Yeah.
And then, like, I mean, and it's just like, okay, like, that makes sense. It's like you start kind of thinking for yourself, thinking, like, wait a minute, I know things. I probably know things you don't. Or maybe you don't know what you're talking about, mom and dad.
Yeah.
Which is, like, that's a phase that you go through. And, like, you kind of learn that, like, yeah, like, your parents are wrong in a couple of things, which is, like, just a fact of life. Everyone gets one wrong sometime. But then you, like, kind of forget that you're not invincible. Or, like, you start thinking that you are, and that everything you do is, like, right. And it takes, like, those, like, weed out years of, like, high school and, like, usually college also to be like, oh, wait. Oops. Like, they did know what they were talking about.
Yeah.
And it's, like, you have, like, you trust them for a really long time, and it's, like, puberty, like, zero trust. And then, like, as you've kind of, like, hopefully, like, kind of weaned out of, like, your own, you know, youthful stupidity a little bit, it's like, oh my gosh, my parents are smart again. Like, it's like they were probably always like right about that level. It's just like it took us however long to like realize it.
Yeah. I mean, I never really went through that phase where I was like, my mom and dad are idiots, they don't know anything. I was always kind of like, okay, yeah, sure, but there are.
Yeah. I don't think I was never like, I'm not a super, well, I'll phrase that. I didn't used to be super confrontational in terms of like, yeah, I didn't used to be super confrontational in terms of like actually speaking my mind on things, especially like in high school, like kind of held all that inside of me, which wasn't good, wasn't healthy. So I had like all this like bitterness in a way at one point or another to like either of my parents, which like wasn't good. And I had to like let that go, you know, lay it at the feet of Jesus, which was good. But it's like, it's good to have those conversations with your parents, and like hopefully they're not just like super stick in the mud where they're like, I'm right and you just got to know I'm right, you know? But like some of the best parents that I've seen, and they're usually my friends' parents, not that my parents are great, but it's just like it's a lot easier to see like from the other side, I guess. Like the grass is always greener, you know? And how like their conversations with my friends would be like very mature, and they would they would talk through things as opposed to like at them, you know. And my family's not super talkative to begin with, and when it is, it's like talking at as opposed to talking with. I'm part of that. Like, I'm not going to pretend I'm not, but it's just like, we all need to learn how to, like, have a helpful conversation every now and then.
Yeah.
Be direct with one another. Be loving with one another.
In a kind way.
In a kind way. Exactly, Hannah Alsobrooks.
Yeah.
So wise.
I try.
Trying. Yeah.
Yeah. Just trying to get through. No, I'm trying to do well.
Do well.
But
Doing well in
yeah,
life.
no, I can totally relate with like the talking at kind of thing. Like, you know, I want to go to medical school, and my parents are like, yeah, awesome. I really want you to get there. I want you to be a doctor. My daughter's a doctor. But there's so many ways to get to be like a doctor, you know?
Yeah.
And there's multiple different paths you can take and everything. And so like, I'm trying to like take my own path, you know, and
Right.
figuring it out as I go kind of thing. Cause I mean, I don't want to stress about like something that is like 8 years away that I can't like, control right now, you know? And so there's like that. And then there's like my parents' path.
Okay.
And so like, I'll listen with an open mind and like, yeah, okay, that sounds good. Like, I like that. But then there's also parts where I'm just like, I mean, that's not what I'm going for. And, you know, kind of butt heads and then just get to the kind of part where I'm like, smile and nod. And then I drive 6 hours back to College Station.
Yeah, been there.
And I get to take my own path.
Yeah.
So,
be respectful. Respect your elders, boys and girls.
for sure.
Helpful tip for the day. I definitely feel that, though, where it's like, I've started to like, you ever start to like really look at your parents and you're like trying to figure out what, like, not only what they're thinking, but like how they're thinking about things, you know, or just like with people. You ever start doing that and you're like, wait a minute, what am I doing?
Yeah.
So I started to like do that, and I think I've realized that like they think about me, or I think parents think about us much more than I ever thought they did. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Because it's like they have their job and they have like their, you know, stuff that they're doing for a living, and they got all the stuff with the house and paying bills, stuff that like I've got no experience in. So it's like I always figured like that was like taking up like most of their mind, and it's like when I'm in the room, like of course they're thinking about me and stuff like that. But I didn't realize how much like even when I'm not there, like I think about them. Like why wouldn't they be thinking about me and like how I do things and like the steps that I'm taking? Like why wouldn't they have these deep reasoned through opinions, you know? Like they're not just talking to me to talk to me or like talk at me.
Yeah.
Like they've thought about things. Like we don't just like say things having not thought them through. Usually. I mean, yeah. In terms of like the lecture and stuff like that, as long as it's not just like a berating, just like, you know, anger fest. I don't know. It's strange how much I'm like, oh wow, they definitely were thinking through what they were saying. You know, and whether or not I agree with them, even now, they definitely thought about this, and I shouldn't have been so dismissive and just being like, oh, okay, whatever. You know, it's like you gotta give everybody the time of day.
Yeah, and they definitely have like the heart behind it. Like,
Right.
They mean to be like, they mean to like build you up and give you the best and easiest path.
Yeah.
Whether you like agree or not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Whether you share the same vision for like your path and stuff like that, it's like
or like other ideas and stuff like that. So
yeah. Well, because it's like it's interesting because I've loved getting to talk with my dad about politics, and like I'm like, yeah, it's weird how we bond that way, and it's never super. That's like how I've learned to talk with, as opposed to like at him, you know, in a weird way. So like he like just, you know, shamelessly, like he watches Fox News and falls asleep. Like that's my dad's political bend, and like that's just it. And it's like nothing inherently wrong with that. But like I remember, I mean, just like even a couple months ago, being like, Dad, you're just so one-sided. Like, how can you like just watch this and that and believe this and that, like at face value? And then talking with him, I was like, oh wait, you have your own opinions. And it's like you don't realize how much like everyone has to say until you talk with them, you know, even like your parents and stuff like that. Because I just kind of assumed, okay, like my parents are super conservative, card-carrying Christians, card-carrying Republicans and stuff like that. And it's like I kind of took them as like really shallow when like I'd never really even talked to them, which was shallow of me to kind of be like, oh, y'all are blah, but I'm super smart. I'm in college and I'm learning about I'm woke, and like, yeah, I'm learning about the world, and like it got all these new ideas that's gonna save the place when they're like probably not. But it's like, I don't know, it's weird what you can bond over. Because, like, usually it's like, don't talk about politics with your family. That'll divide the family. But it's like, it's probably what's grown us closer. Just like, I mean, because it's talking about the world, talking about, like, where we live. And it's kind of sad sometimes, but it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Thinking through it together.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
That something like that can bring it all together.
Still working on finding, like, more common ground with my mom. Because there's just not a lot of shared interest there. Like faith is a big thing that, like, kind of brings us together and brings us close, and we can talk about that. But I just don't have, I don't know. I feel like I run out of words with her, which is bad, because you want to be able to talk with them and, like, communicate better.
Yeah.
So my brother, on the other hand, can talk my ears off for, like, because he's just super passionate about everything he does, and he's in that stage because he just turned 17. It was his birthday this week, actually, last Monday.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I know. Happy birthday to Liam. Shout out to you, my brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's in that stage where he definitely thinks he's, like, knows a lot of stuff. And he's realizing the degrees of humility, and we've kind of been working on that together, like, talking with him. But he's hilarious. He's a riot to start, but he's also just, like, going to tell you everything as he sees it.
Yeah.
And it's, like, a lot. Because he just has opinions. And I'm like, I didn't know you had opinions.
I know.
You like, never talked to me for, like, 5-6 years. And probably that was my fault, too, because I'd be like, get away. Oops. Just Big Brother did a whoopsie. Just, like, no, just don't talk to me. Because it's, like, there's the 4-year age gap. You're like, man, no. Yeah. But, yeah, it's crazy. Family's great, though. Family's a blessing.
It is. It's a blessing, for sure.
Always a blessing. Sometimes hard to see it, but it's real good. It's real good.
Definitely
Dang.
a rock.
Yeah. I don't know. Is there anything Jesus has been showing you lately, Hannah Alsobrooks?
Let's see. So lately, it's just been to kind of, like, enjoy where I'm at.
Yeah.
And kind of, like, find joy in the little things, you know?
Right.
And so I saw a post, maybe at the beginning of this semester.
Okay.
It was just kind of like, you know, it obviously worded it way better than I'm going to word it, but basically along the lines of, you know, just kind of like enjoy where you're at and kind of like don't take it for granted because, you know,
Right.
like the school that you're at or the job that you're at, people were turned away from, you know?
Yeah.
Like we go to Texas A&M, 60,000 students, but like how many people applied but like got turned down, you know?
Yeah.
And so, and there was like a day you were dreaming about, the day that you could like go to college or like A&M, you know?
Right.
Or like get the job or all those kind of things. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, that's so true. And so I need to be a lot more appreciative about like where I'm at instead of being like, ugh, I have to do homework. Like,
Yeah.
I have to learn. Oh my gosh.
Darn it. I have to improve myself as a person.
Yeah, like I have all these opportunities at my fingertips and I'm just like mad that I have homework.
Yeah.
And so there's that, and then also just kind of like mental health, you know?
Right.
And just keeping things positive
Yeah.
and like lighthearted. There's like definitely a line between like being too serious about things versus like not serious enough.
Right.
And I'm just like
Yeah.
trying to
Find that line, trying to walk it.
yeah. And so
Not take yourself too seriously, but
exactly. Like
but take care of yourself.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And so it's like working on finding that, and like I said, just kind of
Yeah.
like finding like the little things throughout the day that I can like
Yeah.
find joy in, whether it's like the sun shining, which is like a big thing for me lately.
Yeah.
Just like when the sun comes out, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
or just like the first sip of coffee, you know, or like I like people watching. And so I'll just
same.
like watch people and then kind of like
Same.
giggle to myself. Not like I'm laughing at them, but like I just think
People are funny.
people, yeah.
Yeah, it's innocent. It's an innocent laugh.
Yeah,
because you're
it's
laughing
like-
along with whatever it is.
Yeah, I'm not like trying to be mean, but I'm just like,
Yeah,
I don't know, different things like that. And so, yeah, that's what I'm working on right now.
nice. Mental health's big, girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Do y'all do a lot of that with public health, trying to increase like awareness? Because I know that's a big movement right now. It's a good thing.
Yeah, it is a good thing for sure. We're working on it. Yeah, it's kind of like so far, you know, like you talk about
Right.
like that's
Is it-
something that needs to be brought
Yeah.
up more, and like something
We talk
that
about
needs
talking
to
about
be,
it.
Yeah. Ugh, gosh.
Oh, yeah.
It needs to be more socially acceptable for people to like, especially like males, you know, to like show like,
Right
hey,
on.
I'm not like,
I'm not in the spot right now.
Yeah.
I gotta cry.
And so
Help.
there's that. And like public health, every single one of my classes that I've taken for like my public health major has started off with defining public health, and they all use like all these different definitions, but every single one of them uses the World Health Organization's definition as one of them. And it's like, it's not just the absence of disease or infirmity or disease, but it's the mental, physical, and social well-being. And so, you know, like health, your mental health really affects like your physical health, and your social health affects your mental, which affects your physical. And it's just like bringing all that around. And so it's like, how can we focus on more than just the biology of someone's health, but also different things, you know, like especially like green spaces in cities. Those make a big difference. Like they keep people active, but then they also activity like gets your blood flowing,
like
releases
parks and stuff like that,
endorphins. It's like a place to socialize, and so just all that kind of different stuff.
That's so cool. No, and I was like legit actually getting chills when you talked about the I guess the WHO's definition, where it's like it's not just like the absence of a disease, but it's the presence of like, you know, like just I guess joy, for lack of better words, and just like, you know, like health is like there's a positive presence there. And I think that's kind of like that can really, I mean, smoothly like tie into like the gospel message as well. It's not just like an absence of a bad thing. It's not just like the absence of sin, or just like, you know, Jesus has taken away this, but he's taken away the sin, and he has filled that gap in our heart with himself, and with like, I mean, the good news, and just like love and grace, and everything that like we actually need, you know. And like I know it's like not exactly like an academic thing to study. People have done like, I guess, studies on like the mental health of like religious people versus like non-religious people, and at least in terms of like anxiety, they can pretty well quantify it. It's like people, and it's not by a whole lot, but it's like people who are religious tend to like have a slightly better numbers in terms of anxiety in general. So it's like we've got that going for us, but it's like I want us to like be really high on the measure of joy, not just the absence of anxiety. It's like, do you feel anxious, yes or no? It's like, do you feel joyful? Do you feel fulfilled? Like, do you feel the presence of purpose and like something like that's good that wakes you up every morning and you want to get up? And I'm like, that's what the gospel is. Like, it's not just kind of like getting through life, even though like I talk about it like that way sometimes because you got to get through, but it's like enjoying life and like celebrating life, celebrating it with other people.
Exactly.
It's so big.
Like, I for sure completely 100%, because there's like a difference, like, you know, everyone's like, oh, you're just living for today, but I mean,
you don't know.
Who knows? And so, I mean, there's a line, like I said, between like living for the moment and also like kind of like being smart about the future, but also just like really absorbing like where you're at, you know, kind of thing. And so, I definitely think, and just like realizing the little things that God has blessed you with, like that you don't even realize are blessings necessarily. And so, just like a bike ride across campus when the sun's shining.
That's been like a big thing for me, and music has always done that for me as well. Because like sometimes, I mean, like, and not even like worship music specifically, but sometimes you just like hear a good song and you're like, dude, this is Jesus. You're jamming out and you're like happy, you're upbeat. I mean, if the sun is shining, that's just like another +1. But like you just like you have those days where like, I mean, you just feel the presence of God. For me, it's strange when it's not necessarily like the sun shining, but I'll walk outside and I'll hear like nothing. I'll hear like a little bit of something, but there's like no construction. There's no cars. There's no there's no leaf blowers or anything like that. I just like walk out and I hear silence and I hear stillness, and I think about like Elijah on a mountain, where it's like God wasn't in this tornado, God wasn't in this earthquake or this fire. He was just like, he was in this still small voice, you know. And there's something about like that still small voice that just like pierces through, you know, because there's like so much noise that we got going on. That's like, I mean, we can generalize and be like, man, we're so crowded with things and places to be. But like, I mean, it's true. And just like in a natural, like physical sense, it's like when there's no ambient noise around and you just like have that silence, you can like meditate and like think on like, wow, this is different. And it's like a really noticeable difference for me. Like every time like I don't know. Sometimes I'm sure I miss it because I'm like, all this noise in my head's going on. But sometimes, like, if the noise in the head is still and the noise outside of me is still and everything's just at peace,
Yeah.
like this moment happens where I'm like, this is really good, God. It's real good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Exactly. Just like realize.
Yeah, relax. Yeah, that's really good.
Take it in.
Take it in. Deep breath.
Yes. Those are good.
Yeah.
Gotta remember to take those.
Gotta remember. Eat right, breathe, sleep,
Pray.
pray, read scripture. This is getting to be a longer list than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it's not just like 3 things.
LOL. But
Life is a little more complex than that, but
that's a good word. Life's really complex. That's what we were talking about earlier. With just like everything fitting together.
woo, pieces.
Paces, yeah. But it's also just like, again, like how there was a quote by Wittgenstein. He was like a German philosopher, and he's like, the craziest thing about the world, or like the most beautiful thing about the world, is not how it works, but that it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when you think about, like, again, like you're standing outside and you just like see, you know, cars, trains, grass, sky, sun, like birds, whatever you see, the fact that all of this actually fits together in a weird way, and that we can like remotely understand it. We don't have a complete understanding of it, but it's like we know that there's order to it. And I'm like, that is crazy. Jesus crazy.
Yeah.
Dang. Anything else you wanted to talk about before we take a hike?
Before we go get some dinner.
Yeah. I'm sorry I kept you from like food.
Oh no, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Cool.
Big thing lately is just like find joy, you know?
Find joy.
Whatever that little thing is for
Yeah.
you, whether it's like a song.
It's not a little thing, girl.
Well,
Make it a big thing.
Well, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be a big thing,
Right.
though. Like
Yeah.
living for the weekend or living for the summer or
Right.
living for that trip, but like the little things like now that like really
Yeah.
matter to you that are
For sure.
they are big things. And so yeah,
Dang. Awesome.
it's a song or the sun or whatever.
Yeah, but no, it's been like real good to have you on, girl. So glad. This has been chill, just talking, having a good laugh here and there, being
chat.
accountable somehow.
What number is that?
Buzzwords.
I don't know.
Might be 10 now. It's okay. But tradition has it that you could pray us out for us. You feel comfortable with that?
I do.
Heck yeah.
Okay, sweet. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you so much for bringing us here today just to kind of have an opportunity to chat and like have conversations about you and then just like life in general. And I just pray that these conversations wouldn't like only be conversations, but that they would be like fruit or like seeds to like other people, you know, get their thoughts rolling kind of thing. And I just pray that, you know, people are healthy and they can find joy in the little things. So, yeah, thank you for everything. In your name I pray.
Amen. Girl, thank you. Bye, everybody.
Deuces.
Doses.
Adios.